Hi guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now, last time we talked about the basic concepts of communication. For today's lesson, we are going to talk about the concepts and contexts of mass media. Now, mass media in essence is categorized by several terminologies and ideas. First of which is broadcasting. Maslog said that broadcasting is a form of mass communication that utilizes technologies of radio and television to transmit messages and programs via the airspace. Now, broadcasting is basically part of a larger form of communication, and that is mass communication. Now, mass communication, as defined by Dr. Maslog, is a mediated communication that uses a medium or a channel to send messages like information, ideas, beliefs, values, and attitude to a large and diversified audience in different places at the same time. Now, the key word here is at the same time, meaning it's supposed to be live. But of course, technology has evolved and mass communication has evolved with it. Now, what are the characteristics of mass communication? This is according to McQuail. Mass communication has a large-scale distribution and reception of content, meaning, of course, the information will be broadcasted to hundreds, thousands, if not millions of audiences given a particular coverage. Next, it has one-directional flow, meaning the source of communication or the source of information, which is the sender, only has the capability to distribute the information that he or she broadcasts in a one-directional manner. Next, because of this, it has an asymmetrical relationship between the sender and the receiver. Because although even before, comments and reactions can be seen by the sender via ratings or via letters, etc., but it is done in a very slow manner. Okay? That's the reason for it being asymmetrical. Next, it is impersonal and anonymous relationship with the audience. When we say mass communication, of course, uh, for example, you are the broadcaster in radio and TV, then you only see the microphone or the camera. You don't really see who is watching or who is listening to the broadcaster. Next, calculative or market relationship with the audience. Of course, because mass communication is in nature a business, so we have um, the relationship between the audience and the broadcaster is actually dependent on the ratings and the advertisings that go with it. And of course, it has standardization and commodification of content. Of course, when you talk about standardization, so you have several different TV or radio programs that have basically similar content, like drama, like news, like sports, etc. Now, mass media are basically the tools or channels that make mass communication possible. We have different forms of mass media. They are print, radio, television, film, and the internet. Now, of course, when we talk about broadcasting, we are primarily focusing on radio and television. But of course, nowadays, we can also identify uh, the internet as part of broadcasting. A mass medium does not only refer to the technologies that transmits, but also the institutions that use these machines to transmit messages. So when we talk about mass medium, we're not just talking about the technology and the structure that you use to broadcast, but also we have to talk about the institutions, the people who gather the news, who edit the news, who actually gatekeeps these informations to be broadcasted to the audience. Now, we have different forms of mass media. We have traditional media, community media, social media, and of course, the mainstream media or the commercial media. Now, when we talk about traditional media, we are also referring to the folk media. So, a form of communication which embodies people's belief, self-concepts, perception of their relationships, their philosophy of life, social ethics, and their pattern of behavior. This is according to Coseteng and Nemenzo in 1975. Now, basically, this is rooted in pre-Hispanic era, but we were influenced by the Spanish culture as well. Now, when we talk about traditional media, we are talking about the pabasa or pasyon or the senakulo, the salubong, the ati-atihan, and the moro-moro. Now, these are, of course, just examples of traditions that have been passed from one generation to another to basically preserve our not only oral culture, but also our societal culture as well. Now, next, when we talk about community media, we refer to a so-called small media or group media. This is an attempt to demassify the media. Meaning, when you say demassify, it just involves a small group of people. This is more capable to get people involved in issues and problems in the community. And it provides opportunity for them to participate in the process of development. Example, theaters, audio cassettes, slide sets, dance, video cassettes that can be preserved and can be watched and readily be available when there is a need for the community to disseminate such information. So, in a way, it's mass media in a community scale. Okay? We also have community newspapers, community radio blackboard newspapers. You have rural mimios newspapers. So again, these have a bit more or a bit smaller coverage than the mainstream media. Okay? Now, we also have to talk about social media. Now, social media are channels or tools that people around the world utilize to create, share, exchange information like pictures, videos in virtual community. Now, in a way, uh, for the 21st century, this is a birth of mass self communication. Now, internet and mobile phones with their capacity for instant transmission of contents like text and pictures and videos have challenged the existing media institutions that monopolize national and global communication. Okay? Now, big broadcasting companies in the Philippines, of course, we have the big two. We have GMA7 and ABS-CBN, and we also have TV5 and other smaller but major or mainstream mass communication or mass media entities, okay, are now being challenged by the content media, so to speak, of the internet. Now, meaning now the audience is not the audience anymore. Okay, they also have, or a common person like you or me have the capability to share any information, text, videos, pictures we like using social media. So again, this challenges the status quo. Okay? So what are the characteristics of mass self-communication? Now, this is according to Manuel Castles. Now, when you say mass self-communication, it has horizontal flows of activity. Meaning, when you say horizontal, it's not hierarchical anymore. It's not just like when, for example, you're going to broadcast a particular news coverage where you have to go through, let's say, the editor first and then the news managers before actually broadcasting it. Okay? Now, you don't have even in your own personal account without any gatekeepers, you can broadcast directly or share directly any information you want using your own social media accounts. Okay? Next, you have communicative anatomy, meaning you are more autonomous or you are freer in terms of sharing. Again, unlike when you go to the mainstream media where you have, there are a lot of people who would like to or who would approve your content before actually broadcasting it. Nowadays, it is autonomous. Okay? So, again, you don't have any boss, you don't have any editors, no news managers, no producers, whatever. Whatever you want to share, you can share depending on your own capability. Next, we have it is self-generated in content. You can share or anybody can share or generate content on the internet. Okay? Again, self-generated in emission, meaning in sharing, in producing. So it's up to you if you want to share 1 or 2 videos per week or per day. So again, it doesn't have necessary or it doesn't have specific rules on when, where, or how much you want to share. Okay? Next, self-generated in reception by many that communicate with many. Okay? So, meaning, your content is exposed to many. It also, you also have to bear in mind that because it is exposed to many, many can actually comment on your content. Meaning, you can only you cannot be able to control the comments that people will put on the content that you have shared. Now let's talk about the roles of mass media in society. We have the political role, basically to disseminate information, to create public opinion, and to reflect public opinion as well. But you have to remember that the greatest political role of mass media is to watchdog the government. Next, the economic roles. Now, capitalists employ mass media to sell their products. That's the reason why that's the reason why mass media is free. It's because of the advertisers. Okay? So they are the ones who actually pay for the airtime. And they are the actual sources or the actual direct sources of revenue for mass media content. May it be the mainstream media or may be the internet. It's still advertising. Because of that, of course, advertising agencies help sell these products, okay? And these advertising agencies actually advertise their products, services, etc. with the use of mass media. Again, may it be mainstream media or the internet. And of course, we have the social role. Okay? So, mass media actually defines what is popular. Okay? It is also used to basically build a nation. Meaning, not just popular beliefs or not just who is popular, but also what idea is popular. And of course, it is for entertainment. Now, we also have the development role of mass media. So, the development role combines political, economic, and social functions of mass communication to basically, again, build the nation. Okay? In a way, it is what we call the mobility multiplier. Now, because of mass media, okay, we can, let's say, gather to perform a particular task. Like during elections, you have certain rallies that really gather like-minded people that have basically similar vision of what our nation would be. Okay? So, but in a sense, it can also help. For example, when typhoon strikes, then you have people from all around the Philippines, not just the Philippines, but the world, to basically mobilize to help a certain part of the country. Now, as summary, when we talk about mass communication, okay, it is under mass media. So mass communication under mass media, and under mass communication is broadcasting. Now, when we talk about broadcasting, primarily we are dealing with radio and television, but also nowadays we can also involve the internet in it. Okay? I hope that you learned something in this short lecture. Remember to check your messages, and if you have any questions, you can reach me via course message, text message, direct message, or a chat via Microsoft Teams. Now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. Take care.